Hello, I'm Chris Noble, and I'm the Executive Director of the Sauk Valley Area Chamber of Commerce. I want to welcome you to our Career Pathways and Skills discussion. This is a partnership with Sauk Valley Community College, Best Incorporated, and the Sauk Valley Area Chamber. We're really glad to have employers throughout the Sauk Valley who are willing to talk to you as students about what pathways are available in the Sauk Valley and what skill sets are really needed. After you've had the opportunity to watch the videos and discuss them in class, please feel free to reach out to any of the employers and continue the discussion, ask them questions, and find out more about the pathways that they offer.
I'm Vanessa Wessels, and I work for a company called VeriFacts. We are located in Sterling, Illinois. We are a data verification company, and we work for clients in the financial industry, and we're a very integral part of keeping checks and balances when it comes to our economy, because we affect interest rates on traditional loans. VeriFacts opened in 1987 and was recently purchased by our executive board in February of 2020, which made us a women-owned business. With being an employee-owned business, we are a culture that is family-oriented, and we believe that happy employees make for happy clients. I started at VeriFacts in 2012 as a research specialist. It is an entry-level position, and in most cases, that is what we are hiring for. I was promoted various times throughout the last 9 years, and my current position is a training manager. I manage the training department. I also hold development classes monthly with all of our management staff, including our owners, so that really speaks to our core of how valuable we feel self-development is. Our company culture starts from our hiring process. We have all of our applicants apply online. I would highly recommend when you apply for a job online to do so from a computer. There's important steps or instructions that could be missed if you're filling it out on a mobile device. And when information is missing, employers sometimes just cast those applications aside. When you come in for an interview, make sure to come in early and dress to impress. As casual as an employer's attire may be, putting in more effort into your appearance tells us how much effort you're going to put into the job. During the interview, it's great to have eye contact and feel free to make that small talk. If you come across a question that you don't know an answer, it's okay to take time to think about it. Take a pause, or you can simply tell the interviewer, I don't have a specific situation for that question, but here's what I would do. A part of the interview process that people don't think about, not only are we looking for the right people for the job, we're looking for the right people for the culture. Be yourself. I started in VeriFacts in 2012 as a research specialist. That is our entry-level position. And what that day-to-day job looks like is we call businesses to verify employment. So the job involves researching contact information, but also tapping into some social media links, because we also like to provide new leads for our clients when that employer does not turn out to be accurate. The types of phone calls that our employees make in the research specialist position is we call businesses, speaking most of the times with human resources and payroll, verifying employment or obtaining company contact information. It's a lot of work on the computer, a lot of phone skills, and also personal skills, because you work within a team, and we really want to immerse all of our employees in our culture, because then you enjoy the job more. Attendance has been a struggle with not just VeriFacts, but other employers. We're looking for a lot of reliable employees that will not only show up to work on time, but consistently. We have introduced a flex scheduling program, and so we allow our employees to set their schedule, not just in times and out times, but their break times. There's no limit to the amount of breaks that you take or the time that you take the breaks. We just want to make sure that your hours are hit before you leave on Friday. When starting with a company, we're not going to know everything that we need to know. That's also a reason attendance is important. When we miss work when we're first starting a job or within our first year, we're actually losing opportunities to train our employees on skills that help them rise in their careers faster. When starting a job, you may not understand all the tasks that you'll be asked to perform. Ask for help, ask questions. We're not giving out assignments to have them turned in incorrectly, and we're not going to expect you to know every ins and outs to the job. We want to make sure that you have the resources you need, so if you're missing something, reach out. We feel it's important to fail forward. When a toddler is learning how to walk and they only take a couple steps and they fall down, we don't start criticizing them and say, you didn't walk a whole way or you didn't start running right away. We need to allow for those mistakes to happen, and it's actually been proven that we learn more by making the mistakes than doing everything correctly. It's all about getting in a routine. It helps to know yourself. When we started the flex scheduling and we were trying to eliminate the tardiness, we could show our employees their in and out times. You know, you're clocking in about 8:05 every day, why don't we change your schedule to 8:15? Knowing your schedule, knowing your habits, knowing what your distractions are can actually lead to being more productive because you can schedule yourself around those productive times. But it does start in school. It starts by meeting those deadlines. Communicating when you cannot meet those deadlines as well, because life does happen. Communication is vital to everything, and communication should be ongoing, not just with your manager or coworkers, but build that rapport with everyone that you work with. That helps in decrease conflict within, because you have a rapport built with your coworkers. When you're receiving feedback from your managers, by knowing them on a personal level, you know where their intention is coming from. We assume positive intent more often because we have that relationship with those people. So have conversations around the coffee pot at work. Have conversations while waiting in the stands at your school's basketball game. Have conversations with your teachers about their weekend and share your ultimate goals with everyone, because when we have opportunities that our employees have talked to us about, we can write that down and say, I have a training project involving video recordings and I'm gonna have Nate come in on me this because he really enjoys video editing. I love when our interviewees ask questions. It tells me that they're interested in the job, that they may not know what a research specialist is. We're the only one in the area that really has that type of position. So when they ask questions, it tells me they didn't just apply to get a job, they want to work here. And that's also why we want to immerse them in our culture from the beginning. When our employees come for an interview, we want them to come early because we schedule tours. We have another employee give them a tour throughout the building so they can see what their day-to-day life will be like, what the office culture is like. And that helps set up, and that starts the conversation rolling. They have conversations with our receptionists, with our employees from day one, and that just goes right on up to the manager. I did not know what I wanted to do when I was growing up. But I've worked for several different places. I've worked in manufacturing, I've worked in the service industry, I have worked behind a bar, I have cleaned tables, I have detasseled. So in my opinion, I have taken little parts of all the leaders that I've met and companies, and I found that working for family-owned companies is the great fit for me. Because I enjoy building those relationships. There's nothing wrong with wanting to clock in and clock out and go home. We have employees that are like that too. But the only reason we know that is because we've had those relationships and conversations with them. So if you're not sure what you want to do, I would find something that you're passionate about and find a way for the company to benefit from that. And what I mean by that is, our research specialist position does phone calls, they do a lot of research, but we had positions open up that didn't exist before. So we have now a quality assurance department that did not exist 3 years ago. And that all started with one employee who did not enjoy making phone calls, but she was excellent at research and she was excellent at details. We created a quality assurance specialist position for her where she could review those things. So you just never know what can come out of sharing the things that you're passionate about with those leaders in your life. When you're receiving feedback, Think of it as someone telling you that you have food stuck in your teeth. We don't know that it's there unless we're made aware of it. Those people telling us that have the best intentions. So take that, get the food stuck out of your teeth, now that you're aware of it, and move forward. Feedback is feedback. Bettering ourselves is a continuous, ongoing process, and leaders are learners. So if you look to lead others, continue to work on yourself. Listen to podcasts, read articles. Multiple times a day, I'm not sure to have a conversation with an employee, I'll look that up. How do I approach this specific situation with an employee? And I prepare for that conversation because I want it to go well. We're not only paid to produce, we're paid to prepare. So take that time to really research and to prepare for those meetings or a conversation. Sometimes you even have to prepare for that small talk. How do I have that small conversation around the coffee pot and make it genuine? When it comes to teamwork or collaborating with others, it's a lot more fun celebrating with multiple people instead of by yourself. You'll also have a lot more diverse ideas, and as everybody lifts each other up, you can rise to the top a lot faster. One thing that I struggled with in the workforce was wanting to take advantage of every opportunity that I was presented with. Until one of my managers said, Vanessa, there is such a thing as leading from behind. Sometimes as a leader, you need to take a step back and let other people learn from those experiences, even if you are passionate about a project or the right person for the job. Be a resource. When it comes to problem solving, 5% of the time should be to identify the problem and 95% of the time finding solutions. Figure out what your objectives are and design a fence. Don't feel like you have to micromanage every step along the way. And if someone's idea is different, does it meet the objective? 5 plus 5 equals 10, but so does 8 plus 2, and so does 12 minus 2. Be flexible, and as long as it meets the objective and everyone's happy, that's the best way to go.